Many state DOTs are contracting with colleges, universities, or other institutions to conduct transportation research. This may involve data collection and testing in active roadway or highway construction zones. This research may expose students and staff to serious hazards created by passing traffic, heavy equipment operations, and a variety of changing site conditions. Each year, there are hundreds of fatalities and thousands of serious injuries in work zones. The goal of this video is to provide general guidelines to enhance your safety in and around roadway work zones. Transportation professionals who work in the field acknowledge these daily hazards and use a number of standard safety practices to mitigate these risks. It is up to the transportation researcher to learn and employ similar practices to help assure a safe return home each and every day. As a student researcher or engineering intern, you may be asked to monitor traffic patterns, conduct speed surveys, or noise level research, as well as a variety of other surveying, material sampling, or data collection tasks. These are all important duties, but the most important job is for you to stay safe as you conduct research and perform your assigned task. Hazards to your safety in transportation research field environments may include vehicles traveling at high speeds, impaired or distracted drivers, construction activity, traffic or equipment noise, uneven terrain, blind spots, pinch points, falling objects, overexertion, repetitive motion fatigue, or just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You need to minimize these risks.
You just have to look around and be aware of where everything is around you all the time.
Every traffic or work zone situation is different, and preparation is the key to a safe and successful day. Be ready to ask questions before and after you arrive on site.
Do they have alarms like the backup?
Yes, every piece of equipment has alarms on them. The excavators.
And if you don't feel safe performing a field research activity, remember to ask for assistance or regroup until a safer method can be found to perform the task at hand. Do not allow yourself to become a statistic. Working on site requires not only knowledge of the hazards to be expected in the work area, but also the practices, procedures, and regulations that are needed to be safe. Personal protective equipment is required in the field. This equipment may include an approved reflective safety vest, hard hat or cap, hearing protection, goggles, gloves, long pants and boots, and you may also want to add sunscreen, insect repellent, and a water bottle to your personal protective equipment kit. You must be wearing a reflective vest and closed-toed shoes or boots before you arrive on any job site. These are minimums needed for your personal safety, and each specific job site may have specific requirements mandated by the contractor or work conditions. Remember, everyone looks good in safety gear. Prior to arriving on a job site, you should contact the project leader, job site supervisor, or foreman by email or telephone before you arrive, especially if it is a construction site. Make sure you coordinate fieldwork with your research project leader or principal investigator in advance of travel. Find out where to check in and who to talk to regarding your work on site, and ask what is the best way to become acquainted with the work zone, or who can provide an orientation for you. Ask questions as needed, especially if it is a new work environment for you or your crew.
Well, we're going to be going in the job site. This is a good safe place so we can talk about what you have to expect. There's some drill rigs out here, and they aren't moving very much, so unless you're getting right up next to them, you don't have to worry about it. Further down here, we have a couple excavators and a dozer, and if you get near them, you need to have radio contact or make eye contact with the operators so that they know you're there.
One of the items to find out in advance of arriving on site is actually how to access the job site and where to park.
Well, today on the job site, you guys were able to find a nice flat area, a safe place to pull over. Other circumstances may not have this, so you'd want to call ahead, talk to the superintendent or foreman in charge, see if there's someplace safe to pull over and park. Try and meet them at the job shack if that's available, and have them show you where to be. When you get close to the job site, you want to find an area big enough that you could pull over safely and not be in the flow of traffic. Try to avoid haul roads. The truck drivers can't see you, they don't know you're there. As you pull over, you should turn on your hazards. If you have an overhead strobe, you should turn that on and use it so the traffic around you knows that you're going to be making a maneuver that isn't normal. But the big thing is just to get safely off the road without causing any traffic problems.
Different job sites may have different rules requiring specific training or access. Many sites are implementing a no cell phone rule or providing a specific safe spot away from traffic or equipment to call or text.
Yeah, if you need to use your cell phone, I need to have you step in between vehicles.
Sure.
or off the job site, out of traffic's harm.
Okay, sure.
Make sure you know the rules for your particular research area and follow local laws regarding the use of handheld devices while driving. If you are working at night, check with a project manager or foreman before arriving on site. Reflective leggings or sleeves or personal lighting equipment may be required. Remember, anything you can do beyond the basics to allow traffic or equipment to see you is generally a good thing, as long as it is approved safety equipment.
They have a huge blind spot in the back of them. If you can't see their mirrors, they can't see you from behind, so you need to stay out of their path when they're backing up.
Another item that will help enhance your safety is to have an escape route in mind at all times.
Now with them loading and the potential of rockfall and everything else, you need to always have a way to get out, an escape route.
If rockfall begins, where will you run? If a car is heading towards you, what is the quickest escape route? Make a plan and discuss escape routes in advance with everyone in your work group. There are differences between urban, rural, and freeway work. Rural roadways can be seemingly idyllic, and then equipment or cars can come out of nowhere. Do not be lulled into complacency just because it is not an active construction zone or high-volume roadway. Here are some additional tips to help you through your day. Work with a spotter when you can, and avoid turning your back on traffic. But before you go out to your research site, a discussion needs to occur between your research team and the principal investigator or lead researcher as to your planned approach to safety. Remember, always carry personal identification as well as any specific job site identification or credentials that may be required for your work on site. Some job sites or project work may require specialized or additional field training. Always pay attention to your surroundings. Avoid personal fatigue or overexertion, and if an emergency should occur where medical or other assistance is needed, be sure to ask for help and call 911.
Had some pretty big stuff fall last year that hit one of the off-road trucks and it made a mess, so.
Additionally, if a mishap, near miss, or accident does occur, researchers need to contact the principal investigator for the study as soon as possible to report the incident and obtain further instructions. There are a few essential steps you need to check and follow before you go into the field. These include coordinating site visits with your principal investigator or research lead. Always plan before you go.
questions about the layout or how this works,
Understand the research work, site work, and site conditions you may encounter, coordinating with your lead researcher and asking questions in advance of your field work. This is very important to the work you will be doing. You need to carry personal and project-related identification at all times and be able to prove that you are authorized to enter a job site if identification is requested. Be prepared for changing weather conditions. Be ready for hot, dry, cold, or wet weather. Carry water, snacks, and food, sunscreen or bug repellent as needed. Some project sites may not have easy access to stores or lunch spots. Personal protective equipment. Make sure you have what you need. PPE may include a reflective vest, boots, goggles, hearing protection, and other site-specific items. Always discuss and make a safety plan before going on site. Work in teams if possible, and use the buddy system to spot traffic or watch out for other hazards. If, after you arrive, something changes with the original plan, stop and regroup. Refocus on safety, and then go ahead or go home, depending on the situation. Safety is a continuous process.
My goal is, of course, to do a good job. But most importantly, the main priority is to be safe and return home each and every day.